Hello and good morning. It's Cheryl Leong from the Growth Hub. Thank you for joining us on this special webinar. And we'll be talking about automating your buyer's agency with a CRM called Zoho. And this is, we've got a special guest today, Shankar Jan. Yavula. So Shankar, sorry, I hope I said that correctly, from Systems Down Under, and he will be talking about technology and how you can use it in your business. And if you're a buyer's agent, there will be some specific things that you can use in the CRM that will be great for your agency. But there'll be a whole lot of content as well that Shankar will share about technology and its use and automation and how it can help you grow your business. So I'm going to invite onto the virtual stage Shankar. Please come down.
Hello, everyone. Shankar here. Thank you, Cheryl, for the intro.
Great to have you.
Thank you so much. So today we are going to discuss about automating your business with the help of technology, and specifically we're going to speak about Zoho and why I think it's a best fit for most of the small and medium-sized businesses. Just a quick intro about myself. I've been in the technology space for more than 15 years now, and I've had experience working with the large consulting firms like Capgemini and Deloitte during those 15-year stint, and also got experience working especially with CRM and its related technologies for more than 10 years. And when I started my career here in Australia, I was glad to be associated with one of the premier buyer's agency in Australia called Escone Handler. I used to lead their technology division, and that's when I got to know more about how buyer's agents operate. And I used to work very closely with them on a day-to-day basis, trying to help them, not only to streamline the process, but also helping them to achieve, kind of shorten the sales cycles with the help of technology. And I worked with more than 200 buyer's agents so far in this space. So I can clearly empathize with you. I understand your world very well. So today we are going to deep dive and I'm going to showcase something in Zoho. Again, it's still a demo org that we have built for the presentation today. There may be some hiccups here and there, but the overall idea is to give you at a very high level, give you a high level understanding of what technology can help and how we can streamline the process end to end.
Fantastic. I might just ask the audience, whoever's here, if you're using a CRM, first of all, are you using a CRM? Just put in the comments below, yes or no. And if you are using a CRM, what CRM you're using? I'd be really interested to know. And then the third thing, how you're finding, what are the things you like about your CRM and what the challenges are you're having with your CRM? I think that would be really good to get that feedback as well, Shankar. But
absolutely.
over to you.
No worries. Thank you, Cheryl. And also, I've just made a quick Menti here. Just whatever Cheryl has just mentioned, I have a couple of questions to ask you guys, so we know, what you're here for. So I'm going to go to if you guys can hop on to menti.com and key in this code, please. Menti.com and key in the code 86614054.
And tell us a bit about Menti. What is Menti? And
oh yeah, good question. So what Menti does is, like you can see, I'm gonna ask them a question here. So basically, they can answer this question live. So we get to see, what they're after. We kind of pose the questions here. So I'm going to present my first Menti here. So if you can hop on again, as I said, please go on to the Menti and use this code 86614054. You can do this on your phones as well. I'm going to start present this now. First question to you guys is, What do you use to track your customers, and where they are in the journey? Do you track that on an Excel sheet? I've also seen some buyers agents still using their diary to capture that. Or do you have a CRM already? If
Yeah, of course. Yes. And still, I mean, I still see a lot of people using Excel, or if someone's got a CRM. I'd be keen to find out what CRM you're using. And I think I think a lot of people realize that once they're starting up in their business, they need some sort of a CRM. But I guess the challenge is really understanding which CRM suits your needs,
right,
because
right,
there's so much choice out there, and
absolutely.
I think that's the challenge. All right,
Mm,
so another person's got a CRM. Awesome.
nice.
Not using a CRM. So property options broker, what how are you tracking your clients and your leads at the moment? And there's no shame or judgment here. You can be using post-it notes or your whiteboard. That's absolutely fine. I
It
quite
just
like how you've got this whiteboard wall as well, Shankar.
thank you. Yeah, it's handy. You can see also my kids writing something as well.
Yes. Yes. That would be my kids as well. Okay, so we've got, I mean, at least two people. I know a few other people are watching, but we've got two votes for CRM
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
moment. So people sort of know that they are using CRMs. However, okay, that's the other thing. Finding the right CRM and then making the most of that CRM is the next challenge.
yeah, 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 absolutely. So when it comes to the CRMs, right? Anyways, when we discuss, we'll talk more about it. We'll give 30 more seconds for people to answer for this question. In the interim, I just wanted to say, but yes, as Cheryl rightly said, we have a lot of options in the market. It all boils down to the costs and how easy it is to customize, and obviously the user interface. And when we pick something, not just the CRM as a technology as a whole, we need to have something that can help us to automate end to end. It's not just about putting in your clients in, how easy it is to automate the process. And we also need other things on the top of a CRM that would enhance the functionality of it. I always compare that to our iPhones and stuff. When you get your iPhone, the primary functionality is to make calls, but you download an app on the top of it just to extend the functionality to be a scanner or to
Mm-mm.
be sending emails and stuff. So that's what it is, right? It all boils down to how easy it is to customize, how easy it is to add additional plugins on the top of it so we can enhance the functionality of it. And obviously, everyone are bothered about the cost. So because it's going to be an ongoing cost for you, we also have to ensure that we are not spending too much money on it on an ongoing basis.
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
perfect. Let's move on to the next question. What are your expectations today? So this is just an open-ended question. So we can tweak our messaging accordingly. If you can please comment on this.
Patients today. And I know, speaking to quite a few people in our business, because we work with a lot of small, medium-sized businesses, and they might have a CRM, and they sort of go, it's not doing what I want it to do.
Mm,
Or I've got a CRM and I just don't know how to set it up so it does the magic automation and all that stuff. Like, people sort of look at CRMs. I want to see how to automate my buyer's agency. Okay, and it would be good for you to elaborate a little bit more. When you say automate buyer's agency, like, which functions of your buyer's agency would you like to automate? And Shankar, you've dealt with hundreds of buyer's agents, so
yeah.
feel free to prompt questions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So is it more to do with lead generation, or how do you track your leads? You're kind of lost as to where your leads are, or is it has it been hard for you to kind of collaborate internally within the team, within the organization, I mean, or is it how you don't keep a track of how your business is doing, so you want some kind of dashboards and widgets? Yeah,
Mm, yeah, we're getting some really good comments here. I mean,
yeah.
the other thing as well is, um, I think automation's fantastic. How do we balance automation with still a sense of personalization?
Yep, absolutely. So it's equally important, right? What I have observed working with the buyer's agents is, yes, it's a standard process that every buyer's agent follows, but there is always a bit of a flavor, their own personal flavor they want to add to their stream of business, the way they do business. So that your technology has to replicate that, right? So ideally, we all know that people change their business process to tweak to technology, but it has to be the other way around, where you need to, you define your business process and you kind of replicate that in technology. So you wouldn't change your business process to, to adapt to technology, but you have to, replicate the way you do business, and also giving that consistent customer experience, right? Be it me today or anyone else down the line, they should get that same consistent experience.
Mm. And I think the other question we want to ask is like, what is the benefit of having a CRM and automation? What does that mean in my business? Obviously we'll be talking about like time savings. You
Yeah,
mentioned consistency as well. So I'd love to be able to see what other benefits there are for businesses. Um,
absolutely.
for whoever that has commented, currently using Zoho, has your Zoho been set up specifically for your business, like how your business operates, or are you working off the, I guess, the basic model? I might wait a few more minutes to see if there's anyone else to
Yeah,
add.
yeah.
Leads. We see leads all the time with CRM. While we're waiting, what's the difference between a CRM and a mailing system? Say like, is Mailchimp a CRM?
No, MailChimp isn't a CRM, right? MailChimp is just a marketing tool for you to, do a drip feed to your clients and stuff. But this way CRM works is, you just conduct your business in the CRM, and the CRM can do the magic of interacting with your clients on the back end, sending them the right message at the right time, right? So MailChimp does that to some extent, but you still have to do your own segmentation. But with CRM, as the customer goes through the customer journey, if there is a touch point that you have to make, we see in our business that we keep doing some things consistently, right? So after a first call meeting with a client, we go back to our Outlook and send them an email. So these are tasks that, end up wasting your time. It's not actually wasting, but you still have to spend time with it. But if it is the same thing that you keep doing for every customer at a certain stage, it's always better to automate some stuff. So it saves you a lot of time. And also in this world, we're talking about leads a lot and lead conversions. Not every lead progresses to a stage where you sign up and then you eventually buy for them. There is always a hidden treasure, which we call as cold leads. You never know when they want to become, or let's say you spoke to someone and they may not be ready now, but they may want to be buying down the line. But we don't have the time and energy to keep calling them once in a while. If you have technology in place, it's kind of, imagine you putting a lead in and then you put a lead status of not ready to proceed for next 6 months. Then imagine the technology kind of sending those people an email once in a month,
Mm,
which means you
mm.
still stay on the top of their mind. It still looks like you're still caring for them, and you will be the first person who, that will be contacted when they change their mind or when their financial position changes.
Yeah, and you're not having to rely on your memory. And you might have a fantastic memory, but there's only so much that we as business owners can handle in our minds. So just getting through that mental fatigue as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we've spent enough on this, so I'll go back to my presentation. We have a lot to cover today.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you, anyone who participated on this. Let's move on. I think we kind of discussed a lot that I want to cover already. So, as you can see on this slide, this is what we do most of the times, right? So, we're kind of running our business on a wheel. Something looks like a square here. We think we're doing a lot of hard work, but eventually we are not being efficient. So we are super busy, trying to, kind of nurture your leads, and at the same time trying to source properties, and speaking to a lot of real estate agents on the phone. And what we unfortunately don't realize is, we have been doing it we are working hard, but we are not effectively working, right? So we're still relying on paper-based model. And for people who already have a CRM, it's as good as getting a base cake from Woolies or something, not trying to put the cream and cherries and berries on the top. You can still work out of the base cake, but it's not as per your needs. Pretty similar when you have a CRM in place, to Cheryl's point, you still have to customize it and put the flavor that you wanted, the cherries and berries that you wanted, and make it your own baby, your own personalized system, rather than trying to use or adjust your business process and somehow make it work in the CRM. So basically where we are going is, with the help of technology and CRMs and its related stuff, you would be in a position to automate most of the stuff, which means you get your time back and you can deliver 10x results, obviously, because you're not doing that day-to-day stuff and you're automating that most of that process. And moving on, as we can see, what we eventually need is an integrated, smart, and customized software. So, as a business, we have these different departments, but generally as a small and medium-sized business, we play these multiple roles, right? So we are sales, we are marketing, we talk to the customers and support them if they have any issues. We are the same person who might be doing the invoicing and stuff. Yes, you might have a virtual assistant or someone who is trying to do this. But as your company grows, you have all these different departments and you have heads of these different departments. It's equally important that there is collaboration happening across all these things. And then the flow, right? Eventually, when you start someone as a lead and you buy a property, and even after buying the property, you have to keep touch basing with the client once in a while to see how their portfolio is growing and if it is the right time to procure another property for them. Imagine the whole cycle and how we can automate that, and also ensuring that there is enough collaboration happening across the different departments that we have in our business. So what we always go with, what we always speak about is having the CRM in the middle. Again, I'm trying to reference Zoho here. So trying to put CRM in the middle, and Zoho also offers a lot of additional products. I only listed few here, which I think are relevant for our business. So you can actually integrate most of this stuff on the top of the CRM to enhance the functionality of it. We have Zoho offers Zoho Sign, which is very handy for us to do the digital signatures when if you want to send out the agency agreement to clients. And they also offer Zoho Forms if you want to build a quick form and post it on Facebook, or it can be on your website, and they pretty much can be integrated quite easily without having to have any middleware in between. Like we don't have to use any technology to connect these things because they're all part of one family. It's pretty easy to integrate. And Zoho also has Zoho Social if you want to manage all your social media at one place as well. And I also love campaigns. This is what I was talking about. This actually can do a lot of stuff in terms of doing the drip feeds to your clients, or imagine sending a birthday card, every year on your client's birthday. It's pretty easy to set these things up, but they're very small things, right? We don't remember their birthday to give them a call, but imagine your client getting a card from you on every birthday. It's such a nice thing to do. It's very easy to set such things up, and which increases the loyalty, and also the customer remembers you when it comes to buying property as well. There's a lot of apps. Obviously, I'm going to cover a little bit today. And Zoho also offers Zoho Books. I know in Australia, Xero is very famous. So everyone just go and pick Xero as their ERP or for invoicing. But Zoho offers Zoho Books as well, which is also really good. And it pretty much does what Xero does. And because of the fact it's, again, part of the family, it's easy to connect your CRM with Books, which means with a click of a button, you would be in a position to invoice your clients right from the CRM. And you can, once the payment is done, if you mark that as paid, all that reflects back into your CRM. So even if you have additional staff that you are hiring down the line, they get to see, oh, this invoice has been paid, or they don't have to bug you and tell you, hey, has the client paid the invoice, so they can get their commissions and stuff. So again, as I said, it helps us to automate from lead to cash or lead to invoice. And then also using the help of surveys and all the Facebooks and stuff, you can make customers to be promoters. We all know that I bought a property myself in Brisbane. So, if I like the buyer's agent, I love to, when we speak about property, your friends and family would say, who did you go with? Can you introduce me to them, right? So you have to give that consistent experience to customers, and CRM helps us to do that. So you get more referrals from customers. And in terms of the property purchase process, right, these are some things that we do all the way from lead gen to we exchange on a property or we go on conditional. So you get to track your leads, to see which channels you're getting your leads from. Again, this helps you to track your return on investment as to which are the channels which are performing and where are you getting your most conversions from. So you can invest your money in the right pockets. And it also gives you an opportunity to record every client interaction. This is something I love about having CRM on your side, because when you open a client record in your CRM, you get to see every touch point that you had, be it a client a call that you made, be it an email you sent to them, or the notes, how easy it is to take some notes and append that on the client record. All those things help you. And we can also automate the client brief capture process. What that means is we all know that when we speak to the client, when we meet the client in person, we always wanted to know what are they looking at, so we can go well prepared for those meetings. Like, okay, does the client want to buy an investment? And if yes, what is their strategy? Or is it capital growth or yield? Or if it is primary residence, what are the most important things the client wants? Is it close to the shops or to their school? All that stuff. And also the deal and agreement process. You can clearly track where your deals are or where your opportunities are in the buying process. How many of your clients have signed the agreement? Which are the clients that you're trying to shortlist properties for? Who are the clients that you're trying to negotiate at the moment? And all the way until exchange and settlement. It's a very clear process. And also automating the process of sending the agency agreement as well. It's pretty easy to do that. And the most important thing is we always talk about the leads, but we forget how important it is also to nurture real estate agents and mortgage brokers or anyone in the ecosystem that we deal with. It's equally important we do that because as we all know, as you become famous, you start getting leads from real estate agents and mortgage brokers as well. So you need to build that trust in them to say you are the right person. You can buy quite quickly. You have access to a lot of off markets and stuff. So it's very important you nurture them as well. So in the CRM that I'm going to demonstrate now, you get to see how you can put your real estate agents or mortgage brokers and how easy it is to kind of touch base with them. Let's say you get you have a brief. It's been hard for you to find a property. The first thing you do is to call every real estate agent that you know to say, hey guys, do you have a property matching this brief, right? Instead, imagine you have all your real estate agents in the database and you are in a position to segment them based on the region that they specialize in. And then with the click of a button, sending an email to all the real estate agents in that region to asking them this question and you getting a call back instead of you calling every agent in your database. And it's also equally important you manage your commissions, how the commissions are paid. Again, if you hire more people down the line, you may be hiring them on a commission plan. So you may have to distribute the monies to not only internally within the team, someone who qualifies the call for you, as well as we also pay for corporate partners, the person who has referred the lead. All the commission management process is also managed in the CRM as well. And how it also helps internally to manage, to collaborate. Zoho has very easy to collaborate features where you can actually comment on any record to anyone in your team, so they get a kind of a prompt on their phone, and you can actually avoid the email back and forth, but you can actually comment back and forth on the lead or a client actually. And also we can automate in such a way that when an opportunity reaches to a certain stage, if you have an external invoicing team or a accounting team, it's easy for you to automate that process. Imagine it sending an email automatically to your finance team to say, hey, one of Shankar's opportunity has been signed. It's time to send them a retainer, without you having to give them a call. And then I signed up with a client, send me the invoice, sending the invoice, let the CRM do it for you, right?
Mm.
And obviously the automation of repetitive tasks like call logs. And we keep forgetting, we speak to a lot of people as a business owner, and then it's hard for us to keep track of that stuff. So how about having some automations in place where it kind of reminds you that it's time to do pest and building for this guy, it's time
Yes.
to do a pre-settlement inspection for this client, all these things based off the different dates and stuff. It's all done with the help of a CRM.
So Shankar, so if I've got a client and I talk to them through SMS and email and even in my Facebook messaging, will
Hmm.
that all be captured on
Yeah,
Zoho?
yeah, it can be done. You can integrate with social, which means if someone tweets or comments and stuff, you can still create them as a lead in your database as well.
Yeah.
And every touch point, as I said, yes, SMSs can also be done, but by default, Zoho doesn't offer the functionality of sending SMSs. But again, as I said, we have a lot of other third-party tools which can be plugged on the top of it. So you can do mass messaging to all your clients, or you can also do that as part of the automation. For example, you send out the agency agreement to your clients, the system can automatically trigger a message to them to say, hey, we sent you the agreement, can you review it and sign it and send it back, right? Which is what we do generally. Yeah, we can do that. And all those will be captured on the client profile. So you get to see how many SMSs or how many calls you made as well.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah. And then again, as I said, Zoho Books can help you to invoice and, capturing the capturing the feedback surveys as well is also possible. You capturing the client net promoter scores or asking your clients
Mm,
to, do a Google review for you.
mm.
Imagine you move an opportunity to settled, and a week later, an email goes to them. Congratulations, we settled for you last week. Would you help us to review? Put a Google review or at this link. Again, we do that. No, you don't have to send it. Let the system do it for you.
Yeah, wonderful.
I think with that, I'm going to quickly go into Zoho so I can show you
All
an
right, so
end-to-end.
we get to see a demo.
Right. Yes. All right. Any questions? I'm not keeping track of the chats, Cheryl. Do we have any questions
Not
so
at the
far?
not at the moment.
All right. Perfect. Sounds good. All right, guys. So when you log in into Zoho, this is what you see. Obviously, this can be customized based off the requirement, but again, this is still a demo of. So I'm just adding myself. So the buyer's agent is consider the buyer's agent to be you for today. And as you can see here, when I open my CRM, I actually can see what my tasks are.
Mm.
And then, as you might realize, Zoho also has a very nice mobile app, which I generally use for my own business. And if I open my phone, and the first thing that I see on the home screen is my calendar, which actually prompts me, these are the follow-ups that you have to do for the day. And those can be things like scheduling an appointment or calling someone, calling a lead or an agent or anything. It's pretty easy to call from your phone as well. And then the beauty of it is once you hang up the call, it actually logs a call on the profile of the client that, yeah, you placed a call. And the beauty is it also records the duration of the call as well to see how many minutes you spoke to the client and stuff.
Does it
So
also record the call?
it again, recording the call is not a native functionality that, but it only records that it records an activity
Mm.
and the duration of the call. But generally, after you hang up the call, there is a pretty easy way. If I have time, I will also cast my phone onto the screen, and then I'll show you how it looks and how easy it is to do it. And there is a very simple feature where you can actually press a button and then you can literally speak to the phone, like a gist of what you just spoke to the client.
Like a
And
file
then,
note.
yeah. It
Yeah.
says, okay, I spoke to Shankar. He seems to be a tough nut to crack, but I
Mm.
still think I can do it. We are catching up tomorrow, right? So you overall, your perspective or how you're feeling about the prospect, or how the call has gone and what are the next steps and stuff. You can still capture that on a voice note, and you can also convert that to a text. It's not only a voice note, you can convert that into a text, and it stores on the profile of the client the notes as well, which is very handy. So again, as I said, this is what your home screen. We can tweak this, all the tasks. You get to see your pipeline as to how many opportunities you have signed up versus the ones that you're sourcing for and stuff. And again, Zoho has sales inbox. What this means is you can connect your Office 365 or any mail that you have, Office 365 Gmail, to this. What that means is all your emails not only arrive in your mailbox, in your 365 or Gmail, they will also land in your CRM as well. Once you connect this to Gmail or Office 365, the beauty is when you add a lead into or a client into your database, it appends any email exchanges that you had sent to the client on the profile. I'm not talking about an email that was sent from the CRM. I'm talking about the emails that you had sent from your mail server, right? They get appended on the profile as well, which is very handy. Coming to the leads tab, I'm going to add a lead in. So when we go in here, I'm going to click on create lead. As you can see, you can create multiple types of leads. We all know that we have different services. It can be a full buying service or a bid auction or negotiation, or some of you may also be doing commercial buyer's agency as well. So you get to choose which kind of lead you're trying to create. Obviously, based on the type of lead, the kind of fields are going to be different. For example, for anything commercial, you may want to talk about the site, the type of development and stuff. But today we let's go and see a full buying service, because it's a residential full buying service, which is what we do most of the times. So I'm going to add myself as a lead here. And again, we have built it in such a way that it is scalable in the long run. I know we all start as a one-man show, but I've seen a lot of buyers agents becoming so busy these days that they quickly ramp up the team. So it's equally important that this technology is not just for today. It has to solve the purpose or serve your purpose even 1 or 2 years down the line. So we have these additional fields as secondary buyer's agent, which means sometimes you may be the owner of the lead, but you may want to collaborate with an internal team member. He may be the one who is sourcing properties. So you may want to add another buyer's agent on this. So you get to keep track of what are my leads and who are the people that I'm collaborating with as well. You get to add another user there. And you might also have a marketing team who will be qualifying calls for you. And obviously, they will be on a commission plan. You may have to run reports to see how my marketing team is doing, how many leads have they qualified for me. So it's very important that they add their name there, so that we get to run reports and see how many leads they produced for you. And we all know the fact the source of the lead is very important. So as you can see, we have customized this. If it is a corporate partner lead or if it is a digital marketing lead, we have different channels within that. Or it can be an employee-generated lead. You have these different combinations. And also, when you hire someone down the line, you may want to compensate them or give them a commission percentage depending on the source of the lead, right? If it is a lead that's generated by the company, you may want to give them less monies because the company has generated it. Or if it is a lead that they generated on their own, they might get more cut on that opportunity eventually. All that can be tracked. So that's the source, and obviously the lead status. Again, I forgot to mention what a lead is, right? Lead is anyone who may show interest in what you do. Again, lead is very primitive in the sales process, which means we still have to speak to the lead quite often to make them understand why buying property is the best thing to do in Australia and why buying property through you is the best thing, right? So two things here. We may have to educate them as to why buying property is the best thing, and also making sure that they trust you while you are explaining this to them. That builds the trust in them that yes, this guy's knows what he's doing, and I think he has quite a bit of understanding as to how this whole process can be done. So when we're talking to leads, obviously lead goes through a different lead process or lead nurture process. Obviously everything starts with to be contacted, but as you keep interacting, you may have to move them to the right stage. Let's say you finished your first call, you move it to first call or first meeting completed and stuff. And after your first meeting, you might realize that he's not a good service fit for whatever
Mm.
reason. You can move it to that stage. It's kind of a dead stage. Or you might realize that they were not ready to proceed for the next 6 months. Whatever it is, you just move it to the stage. But for today, I'm marking it as to be complete,
And
contacted.
just on that, Shankar, so if we were to click something like not ready to proceed after three months, what
Mhm.
happens? What automation is triggered at that point?
Good question. So what we can do is, I'll show you quickly. That's a very good question. Um, and this being a demo org, we don't have all the automation set up, but I think I have something in place which I can show you.
So for people who are in their buyer's agent and noting that everyone is operates differently, how do
Mm,
you determine like because the forms that you have are very detailed, right?
mm,
And I think it provides a huge level of value and time savings
mm.
for agencies. However, okay, like this workflow, I mean, do you start off with going through a bit of a workflow like this with clients to sort of go, okay, what happens when this happens, and then what, all
Yeah.
the minute steps.
Yeah, I think these sorts of things is more around brainstorming, right? So we give them ideas first of all, okay? We build the skeleton first, right? So the CRM would be ready by the time they start using it. And then we slowly introduce all the different applications that Zoho has that comes along with that. And we tell,
Mm,
oh, this is what campaigns does. And think through the process, right? So what do you do on a daily basis? What can we automate more? Or what kind of messaging you generally send, and that triggers the ideas. And once they have that ideas ready, then we can guide them as to, okay, let's, this can be achieved through this. And to your point, exactly the same thing, right? You triggered an idea to you that, oh, what if I move it to this stage? I'm not doing anything. I have to
mm, mm,
I have to do some stuff to keep calling this guy every month. Why don't I automate that, right? One automation can be, as and when you move to that stage, we can set up an activity for you
mm,
automatically every month to call them. Boom. That's one way to deal with it. The other way to deal with it, as and when you move it to that stage, imagine this other program picking that lead and pushing it to that list, not ready to proceed now,
mm,
and the client getting an email once, one email now, 60 days, sending another email, 60 days, sending another email, right? So which means this email content can be on the lines of, hey, I know we spoke, you are not ready to proceed then, but just in case your financial position changes, don't forget to give us a call.
mm.
And maybe this is more education. You can add some education, some kind of a call to action into it, so that and the clients get some kind of a messaging for you, and they call you back when the time arrives.
Mm.
Yeah, pretty easy to set these things up, right? And you can see it's pretty much drag and drop, but it saves you tons of time. As and when this becomes your front end, as I demonstrated on the presentation. Your CRM is a front end. What you did is just move that to not ready to proceed, and you don't even have to do anything if you have something like this on the back end, which triggers the messages automatically.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So with that, now what's the next thing you would like to do? You would give Shankar a call and then say, "Hey, Shankar, I got your contact details from a corporate partner. So I would like to touch base with you and understand, what you're after." And then you have your own sales pitch. You talk to them, and let's pretend it's a happy path today. Shankar said, "Yes, let's catch up tomorrow." And then in the interim, you want to send a quick email to Shankar so he can fill a client profile form of some sort, and all that information can funnel back into the CRM, right? So I'm pretending that you spoke to them. So you click on send email here, and you can choose templates. You can do that from within the CRM as well. So you can see it's putting my name. Dear Shankar, thank you for your interest. I'll be contacting you shortly. You can also tweak this on the fly. Let's meet tomorrow as planned. And then you send it to the client. You see there is a button there. So what we're trying to do is before we meet the client tomorrow, we are giving them an action to fill a form of some sort. So they put the brief in, and then we know what the brief is. It helps you to prepare for the meeting the next day to say, is that brief achievable, or is it unrealistic? Or do you have more guidance? You think the suburb is not right, maybe you got wrong ideas from someone else. You may have to educate them and stuff. So it helps you to go well prepared for the call. And then you can click on next, send.
And
So
you
what?
can and you can amend that template as you
Yeah, absolutely. You can do one. If that English sounds boring, you can change the template itself. But you can also amend the template like I just edited it on the fly. You can make those changes on the fly as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can you copy people into that email?
More people into it. It
Yeah.
actually only goes to the primary participant.
Mm.
Yeah. And hopefully I got it.
Oh,
Yes.
that's the other thing. When it comes from Zoho, how do you stop it from going into the spam box?
Good question. So ideally, okay, so the reason why it goes to the spam folder is because when you register, it doesn't know you actually own the domain, right?
Mm.
So for us to do that, generally on the website, we collaborate with the website team of yours, where we can tell them they need to add some kind of DKIM and SKM settings on their cPanel, which will authenticate that, it kind of whitelists your domain so it doesn't go into the junk, basically.
Okay, so you need to be able to do that with the whoever's doing your website.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a
Yeah,
really that's an
yes,
important point, because anything that comes through mailing
Hmm,
campaigns and all of that, we need to find ways to be able to avoid the
absolutely.
spam box.
No, that's a good point. Yes, definitely. That's something that we do. If there's a website team, we just send them those details, so they add it on the cPanel, so the domain is whitelisted. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, I really don't know how it looks. We can make it look really beautiful. We use your HTML color codes that you
Oh
used on
yes.
your logos and stuff, and yeah, you can see that all the information. If you have any information in the CRM, it's not going to ask them again. You can see my name is populated automatically. I
Hmm.
was referred by a mortgage broker. I want a primary residence nav, a house. What is important to you? Close to
So
shops.
was this generated by Zoho Survey?
That's right. Good point you made. Yes, you can see that we are using Zoho Survey, but it's part of the CRM. You don't even feel like you're using Survey, but yes,
Hmm.
it's part of the Zoho Survey, and
Yeah.
it's integrated to the CRM. Um,
Yeah,
what
fabulous.
that means is, when they fill this form now, it's going to funnel back into the CRM automatically.
Mm. And start to create that buyer brief.
Yeah. We can also branch out in the logic, right? What I mean by that is if someone had said direct investment, there's no point asking them bedrooms and bathrooms and stuff, right? So it's more around
Mm.
strategy. So you can tweak
Mm.
these, the questions would change.
Mm.
Like the way I'm doing here, if I change, is your finance approved? If I say yes to it, you have another question being asked.
Mm. Mm.
Otherwise, it won't ask that question, right? So you can do all those sorts of stuff. I'm just filling something for the sake of it today
Yeah.
and click on submit. Um, so what we can see, it's redirecting to a thank you page, but we can also redirect them to your website. And also we can specifically redirect to a page that you wanted. What I mean by that, if Shankar had said investment, if you have testimonials on investment on a
Mm.
separate
Mm.
line, we can redirect to that page. So just so we give that personalized experience to the customer.
Sure. Can you create landing pages on Zoho? Is there a application?
Um, Good question. I think there is one for it, but maybe I'll come back to you on that, Cheryl.
Yeah,
Yes, I
okay.
know that there is one application for it. Yes. Okay. Now, if you go back, ideally what it does is it sends an email to the buyer's agent saying, "Hey, buyer's agent, Shankar has just filled the form."
Mm.
When you go open the lead again, hopefully it should funnel back. I'm hoping it works. Yeah, you can see that all the information has come back. And what it also does is it attaches a copy of and as a PDF as well, in case you want to print this question. And then for the meeting next day, you're going, you just have everything in front of you as well. But yeah, everything is here. The next thing I want to show you is using these. You can see, as you keep interacting, the number of these things keep going up, right? So this is what I was talking to you about notes. The one way to do it is you can type notes here. It seems to be positive. You can type whatever you want here. But again, as I said, if you have your phone handy, I love that feature where you can press the button, speak to the phone. It converts that into a text and automatically adds the notes there.
Okay, so it converts it to a text, or does it also save it as an audio file?
You can also save it as an audio file, but I love to convert that to a text. I don't have to listen
Yes.
to it. You can
Yes.
always skim through the notes before calling this person the next time, and you know where you left with this client, and you can
Yeah.
start the conversation from there. And
Excellent.
then when you call from the phone, it automatically logs the call as closed activity as well. Here, this is
Mm.
where I was mentioning, you get to see. And if you connect your sales inbox, it appends all the emails there. Though the emails were sent from your Gmail, they still get appended here. And open activities, again, very handy if I have to follow up. I generally do this. Again, this can be automated based off your business requirement. If you think whenever I change a status to, couldn't connect for whatever reason, I want a follow up to be created for next week automatically. Yes, we can do that. But
Mhm.
it's very easy to set up a follow up. So when you go back to your home screen, you get to see there will be a follow up here. And also on your phone, if you open the phone on that specific day, you get to see that you have to follow up. And with a click of a button, you can call that person from the phone as well.
Fabulous. So Shankar, maybe let's have a look at sort of a high level of the main steps then we can get from. So this is the leads. Obviously, there are a few other things in terms of buyer briefs and all of that. I can see at the very top, it looks like you've already set out what that flow
Mhm.
looks like.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
we can talk through that.
Absolutely. I'm going through that now. I know we don't have much time left. I'm trying to be quick. The other thing which I wanted to tell you is we have also, as I mentioned to you, you can also add your corporate partners in. For
Hmm.
example, I've already added a corporate partner called Ben Handler here. So you can see I've added Ben and he works at Rewhite Double Bay and he's a real estate agent. You have option to add whether they are a real estate agent or a mortgage broker. So again, this helps in segmentation if you want to send emails to just real estate agents in a specific region. As long as you have every information filled, we can do that.
Mm.
And what you can do is you can select that segment of real estate agents, select that, and then send an email to them with an ease. So like, hey guys, do you have a property? I have a
Oh,
client looking.
okay. So you can send that, and then the email. Then can you then select the buyer brief or
Yeah, yeah,
do
you can. You can define your template, and then you select the template, and then it goes to all of them at one go.
yeah, amazing. So is that using campaigns?
Now, this is using the CRM native functionality. This is not going off campaigns, but you
Hmm.
can also do that in campaigns as well. You can define your own segments here. For example, if you go to contacts, you can create
Mm.
your own segment. And that segment is based off the data that you have in your CRM. It pulls the relevant contacts, all the real estate agents into a segment here. You see East real estate agents, for example. I have a segment
Yeah,
here. I can
yeah.
send an email from here as well.
So
And
you
this
need
is
to be able to
dynamic.
tag them accordingly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not just tagging. If you see on the record of Ben Handler, I did mention they are a real estate agent.
yeah.
You can also tag them if you wanted to. There's a tag option as well. But based off this field, I segmented it and I use
Mm,
that segment back in this CRM in this
mm,
campaigns module, and you
mm.
can trigger a message from here as well.
Yeah, excellent. And so, like you mentioned, if we can, if you want to send the buyer brief to that list,
Yeah.
how would that look like?
Again, as I said, you need to have a template, like an email template, like a standard one.
Okay.
And you
Yes.
keep updating that template. Every
Yeah.
time you have a new brief added, just update the template and
Okay. Yeah.
execute,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
execute the
Absolutely.
email. Yeah. Right now, I'll be quick. And again, because of the fact that we mentioned Shankar is through a corporate partner, you also have an option to attach who the person is who has referred the lead to you. You see, I added Ben as a corporate partner. Now I'm attaching this lead Shankar to Ben. So I know that I got this lead from him. And also this gives an option for you to run reports eventually to see who is the best corporate partner that you work with this financially and what's the total revenue that you made from those
Mm,
people as well.
mm.
Um, all right. So I think that's pretty much it on a lead at a very high level. Constraint time, I'll skip some things, but I think we covered most important stuff. Let's pretend you met with him, and then the next day, and then you got a measure of confidence that Shankar is a potential buyer. He ticks all the boxes for you. Then you would convert a lead into what we call as an opportunity.
Okay.
So because I've been testing on this, Shankar already exists. So I'm just trying to attach it to new Shankar. And then you create an opportunity for this client. So the opportunity is of full buying service. Don't worry about the clicks and stuff. Generally, if you go ahead with us, we obviously train you on this stuff. Um, and right. Okay. So I'm gonna name my opportunity as full service, which I started in August 2021. Convert. Right. So what I've done just now is I've converted a lead into a potential opportunity. And when you open the opportunity, you can see that
Mm,
there is a stages it goes through. You just qualified the client, and then as you sail through the process, you have an option to send them an agency agreement digitally and stuff, right? And the most important thing on an opportunity is how much revenue you would make eventually when you purchase a property for them. So which means that you need to add more details as to how much, what percentage you're charging and stuff. So I said I might end up buying anything for 5 million. You might do a fixed fee or a commission percentage. So I'm just adding my commission percentage here, which is 2%. Or if you want to do a fixed fee, you also have an option to do that. And obviously some amount of retainer, which you would be charging as well.
mm,
What's telling me that based on the budget of the client, because you're charging 2%, you might make anything between these two. And also the fact that your pipeline would reflect 100K against this deal, because you're expecting it to be a 5 million property for that monies, right? And the next thing I wanted to do now is to send out the agency agreement digitally. What that means is I can click on send with Zoho Sign. Again, we've integrated that with Zoho Sign there. And you get to choose n number of templates, which means you might have one template for bid at auction, for example, just to get that bid at auction approval from your client. We just loaded some random template, again, for the sake of example. So as you can see, all the data, obviously on your agency agreement, you have placeholders. So it's going to pull the data from your agency agreement and populate the data here. I'm just going to add it manually for now. I think it has everything in it. I'm going to click on next. You can see how it renders the data from your CRM onto the template. You can see here that it's, again, just for the sake of example, we don't have the ABN and address and stuff, but in real world, that gets pushed as well. It's pushing the client name, his email, what's your name and your details, what the client is after, primary residence, Eastern Suburbs, Bondi, and you can add some special instructions as well. If you have that in the CRM, it gets pushed 6 months as a term, and what's the approximate price range, how much money is you're going to charge them, what's the retainer amount, where should they credit the retainer amount to, and your standard terms and conditions. And it puts your signature there. And the only thing the client needs to do is to review these terms and conditions, and he gets to sign and then send it back to you. So when you send it to them, it's pretty easy to build them because you have the data in the CRM. It gets pushed across to the client. So that's how you send it. Again, the beauty is when the client opens the agency agreement, you get a notification to say, hey, Shankar just opened it. When he signed on it, you get another notification to say Shankar just signed on it. And it also attaches that document here
Mm.
as signed document. So that's the beauty of it. When you have a CRM in place, you're not leaving your CRM at all. You have all your touch points as activities, you have all your emails there, you have your notes there, and yours, any documents, any attachments, everything is pretty much on the record for you. If something goes wrong, you're trying to dig your files, or where is this signed agreement from this client, you don't have to do that. It's all pretty much on in the CRM for you.
Yeah, you haven't even left it, and you've done so many things in in that
Yeah,
time already.
exactly. Exactly.
Fantastic. I mean, I'm just conscious of, I said, the time, and I know there's a whole lot that we can show in here, Shankar.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of detail, as you can see. Anyone that's here, if you've got an agency and you want it, we've gone through quite a bit here, and you can see. I mean, have a think about how much you're doing that
Mm.
is not automated. And I'd love to get your comments. If you can pop some comments in here, what what you've thought of the demo so far. Is this something that you think that would be helpful in your agency, or even if you're not a buyer's agent, in your business? Have a think. I'm sitting here thinking of what are the things I could integrate um, as part of my own business. But yeah, and think about with your CRM, what are the things that are missing you hadn't even thought about, that you go, oh, I didn't know we could do that. And also on the other side, go, wow, I'm doing all of this manually now. Imagine if I could do this, like, to be able to pull a buyer brief and then pop it into an agreement and then send it out and get it back. How much time is that actually saving you? Because that's the
Yeah.
thing, whether it's using a CRM, or it's using a virtual assistant or someone else in your team. It's about being able to leverage your time better and do things quicker. Sanders says using it is cool stuff. It certainly is. Sanders is Mr. Cool as well. So that's a big kudos to you there, Shankar. So if people want to get in touch with you and actually go through and create their own customized
Mhm.
CRM, how can they do that, Shankar?
Yep, sure. So can I just take one more minute? Just I'll
Yeah,
not
yeah,
demonstrate
absolutely,
yet, so that
absolutely.
I can quickly finish this. So basically, you can go through that, and eventually, when you exchange, it's also going to ask you all this information as to where you bought, which street did you buy, pre-market, on-market, the suburbs, the date of exchange, settlement days. As and when you put that, it actually creates follow-up actions for you to make sure that you're doing the pre-settlement inspections. One
Yeah,
week prior, it does all that stuff for you, which is
excellent.
very handy. And also we have integrated the finance module here, which means you can actually create an invoice right from the CRM as well, without having to go to books. You can see, you can create an invoice, and then you have line items here. It's a retainer invoice. You just put the retainer $3,000 or whatever the change is, and then if you save that, it actually syncs that to your invoicing software as well as within the CRM. And Zoho has done a great job of changing the layouts a little bit. What I mean by that is, you see, this seems a little boring. So they've come up with a new UI. I hope, yeah, you can see this is the only page I made change. You can see that you can actually, when you go to the client itself, you get to see how many properties he owned,
Mm,
who
mm,
created something, and then you can see the overall equity. We have also put in some kind of a recent automation. When you procure properties for them, it actually creates properties, and then you have an option to add the property details, how much we bought for, and you can continuously do evaluations on those properties, which rolls up that information across multiple properties at the client level to say how much equity he holds on them. And so it kind of a trigger for you. If it reaches a threshold, you can automate to say to yourself to say, hey, time to call him, and then say buy another one, right?
yeah, that's a really cool function, that one.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. I was actually pretty impressed myself. We did that very recently, and it's actually cool. Right. So now going back to, I know we covered a lot. Sorry, I'm a little quick. So I'm going back to the presentation. So we have I don't know if you have time to do another Menti one question, but the only thing we wanted to understand is, for people who haven't used Zoho One, how much do they think would this cost for them on a daily basis? Can I do a quick 30-second Menti? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, okay, let's go back on this one. I'm gonna open another Menti, which is on cost. If everyone can hop onto this Menti now and then say use a different code, sorry, 50257688. How much would you like to spend on such technology per day? I'm gonna present that.
I guess on the flip side is the question around, well, if you're doing all of this manually, how much is it costing you?
Yeah,
And
that's
if you're thinking, if what is your per hour rate? If you're looking at the average sales price of your properties, and your per hour rate might be 250 an hour or 500 an hour, whatever, $1,000 an hour. And if you're doing this manually, even if it's taking you 10 minutes, 15 minutes,
mm,
like, but if it's saving you 10 or 15 minutes, and there's ten lots of 10 minutes, or 6 lots of 6 minutes, that's 1 hour of your time already. How much would you like to spend on technology a day? Someone said $5 a day.
yeah, yeah. We'll just give 10 seconds more.
Yeah, sure. And whether
Oh,
it's technology or people, like you said before, it's about leveraging your time and looking at where you as the buyer's agent, you as the CEO of your business should be focusing your time, the core things that you're good at. And all this sort of administrative stuff, like if you're able to have either an automation or someone do it, it's going to be a better use of your time and your skills.
yep, perfect. Exactly. I think someone said five, but I think what you pay on an ongoing basis to Zoho is less than $2 per day. So which is actually less than a coffee price. So it's actually great technology. Coming back to Cheryl's point, that's the whole reason why I recommend Zoho. You can see I didn't leave my CRM, right? So I was just within my CRM, but able to do multiple things using the other technologies that it offers. And it is great for the price. That's the whole reason why we do that. And eventually, but as I mentioned to you before, when you buy from them, it's not customized for a BA process. So it's equally important. I think it's more important that you customize it, and again add these cherries and berries on the top. So you can obviously reach out to me for help. So these are my details. You can call me on my phone, leave me a message, or email me. My email is Mr. Shankar, very easy to remember if you remember my first name, Mr. Shankar at Gmail. And this is my phone number, 0452 414 257. Please feel free to contact me. Any suggestions, any guidance doesn't have to be only when you decide to go with me, but even in case you have any other questions, I'm happy to help.
Thank you so much, Shankar. I know that we had to sort of breeze through that, so apologies that we had to cut it short, but it goes to just show, like, there's so much that you can do with a system that's set up correctly for your business, whether it's an agency or not. Like any business that you have, if you're finding that you're consistently having to repeat certain steps in your business, how can that be automated, and what is that going to free you up with? So um, just as well, any of the buyers agents there, Shankar is one of the Growth Hub's strategic partners. So if you have a virtual assistant, one of your champions with us, Shankar can take them through the steps and the training as to how they can help you utilize your CRM well also. So you can imagine the power of that, having people automation and the actual technology automation to be able to grow your business really quickly also. So thank you, Shankar. That was fantastic. I really appreciate that. Again, anyone that wants to know more details, obviously there's a lot more to show. And Shankar can spend that time with you. Have a chat to him, see if it suits what your needs are. I'm pretty sure if you've got an agency, it will tick a lot of boxes. So enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us on this special webinar. I hope you all enjoyed it and got some value out of it. Shankar, we'll see you again, and take care, everyone. Stay safe and stay sane. Ciao, ciao. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.